Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Fry, empowerment coach, helping women of faith find their path forward. I want to welcome you all in tonight to the show. As you are coming in and joining me live, please do say hello so that I can say hello back to you and greet you properly. If you are watching me in the replay, do please use the hashtag replay and let me know where you are watching from as well. So tonight, I had a lot of fun with the concept for tonight's show. And maybe some of you will remember from the 90s the iconic phrase from a makeup company. Maybe she's born with it, maybe it's Maybelline, right? So I had tons of fun with that. So the title of tonight's show is, maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it, but maybe it's Maybelline. So we're going to be talking about confidence, okay? We're going to be talking about confidence. We're going to be talking about talents and skills. What are you naturally gifted with? What can you work to improve? What are you born with? What do you have to work for, right? And what does that look like for you? And how does that impact your overall confidence? And when I talk to you guys tonight about this particular topic, I'm going to use some examples from my own personal life because I tend to get a lot of compliments on my camera presence, on my presentation, on when I'm in person with people, on my ability to help teach and train and work with people one-on-one, work in group settings, things of that nature, all about my presence. Kind of like the public speaking aspect of it, but also more on that personal level. And you guys, I just want to let you know, I am using a little bit of a different mic setup tonight. So just drop down in the comments and I just want to make sure that you can hear me okay and that everything is tracking well. So give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me. I always appreciate you guys being here with me. So confidence. As I said, I get a lot of compliments on my camera presence and how I show up on camera. And it tickles me now because when I think back to, we'll take this one step at a time. When I think back to 2 years ago, when I actually started my video journey, my live video journey and showing up online, showing up in some pre-recorded videos, but mostly I was working with an amazing coach at the time, Rashonda Pratt. If you need help in mastering or getting, raising the level of your visibility, I highly recommend that you go and see my very good friend, Rashonda Pratt, because she is amazing. So she was really challenging me at that time to go live, right? Go live, go live, go live. Well, when you go live, you have to learn a lot of things about yourself. One, you have to figure out how to talk to the little green dot on your screen or wherever your camera happens to be on your laptop or your phone, wherever it is. You have to learn how to have a conversation with that little dot like you're talking to a room full of people, or at least one other person, right? Which is interesting. If you've never done it, it's very interesting. So I had a lot of help in, developing this skill, developing my ability, how I could show up, what could make it better. Going from my very first live video, which I actually looked at that earlier today, just to reminisce a bit. It was done sitting out on my back deck with my phone, literally right here in my hand, right, talking to my phone. And I did have makeup on, but my hair wasn't done. I just had a t-shirt on and I really was just kind of like, just speaking from my heart. Now, I have gone back to and watched kind of periodically, like taking little chunks of time out to see how I evolved, how I grew in my live video journey and how my confidence changed. And so you have that, and then you fast forward a little bit to where I scripted almost everything. Like when I would do my live shows, almost the entire show was scripted because I was nervous, right? I didn't yet have the confidence to just come on and speak. And so I looked very still, right? Like if I move too much, If I move too much, wow, I don't even know what I was thinking. I really honestly look kind of like a little bit like, a news anchor who's very serious, who's very much just wanting to make sure that they are reporting the information, just the facts, ma'am. Like there wasn't a lot of energy to it. Okay. And again, this is all growth and part of the process. And of course now, and then I looked at one that I did 9 months ago that really just blew me off the charts. Y'all, I motivated myself going back and watching that video again. That's how you know it's good, right? When you can pump yourself up by something that you've done in the past, absolutely, right? So now as I'm here on presence and or here on camera, I'm always continually trying to improve and grow and get better. Hey, Tim, how are you, my friend? It's so good to see you tonight. We are talking about confidence and about talent versus skill and how we develop and grow all of these things. And I'm using my own personal live video journey to kind of showcase that. So now, of course, as I show up, again, this is why I get a lot of compliments on my camera presence, on how I present, on the way my lighting is, my background, my setting, all of those things. It looks very professional. It looks polished. I look like I know what I'm doing most of the time, right? So I want to take you back before this live video journey started for me. And it goes back to, we'll say 5 years prior. Could be a little bit more, but really about 5 years prior to that, so about 7 years ago. Many of you who watch me now would probably not believe or even have the slightest inclination that I had a massive fear of public speaking, of standing in front of people. Y'all, I'm a speaker. On top of being a coach, I'm also a speaker now. I had a tremendous fear of public speaking, of standing in front of people and saying anything, even if it was just bringing greetings. You guys have been asked multiple times throughout my career to come and, bring greetings at different events and, just introduce people, welcome people in, kind of be that first face and voice that people see when they're starting an event. I've been asked to do that numerous times. I was terrified to do it. Why? Because there are all these little eyeballs looking back up at me. And yes, there is a difference between having a bunch of eyeballs looking at you and me just looking at the camera, but the concept is the same. My hands would start to sweat. My heart would race. I would get short of breath. I could feel like this hot tamale heat just like rising up my throat and to my cheeks, like all the way to the top of my head. You guys, I would look like I had been baking out in the sun for 3 hours and no one gave me any sunscreen. I was terrified of it. I could hear my voice shaking. I could see my hands shaking on the podium. I was absolutely terrified. And I never would have gotten up and done it. I had a boss at the time who saw something in me that I didn't, and actually made me get up and do presentations. And I didn't like him very much at the time, but I'm forever grateful for what he saw in me that I didn't then, because that helped build my confidence and the ability to show up and present and talk to people and be on stage and be on camera and be on television and do podcasts and be guest for other people and have conversations with them. It's made a huge, tremendous difference in my ability to show up in my God-given purpose to help other women. Because here's the secret. And if you don't already know this, my friends, especially my friends who are in business or who want to get into business, if no one can see you, then they don't know that you can help them. Make sense? You can have the best idea in the world. You can have the idea that is going to once and for all solve world hunger. If you never tell anyone about it, it's never going to happen. So we talked a little bit about confidence and what that is, and it really is just your comfort level in what you are doing. It is the belief in yourself and your ability to do this thing. Whether like me, it's public speaking, live video, talking in front of people, being a speaker, being on stage, being on podcast, going and doing all of these things. By the way, just in case you guys haven't noticed yet, my talent is my mouth. That's one of my biggest talents, is my mouth. Because everything that I do, it all comes out of my mouth. Thankfully, I am filled with the spirit that comes out of my mouth. Okay, so it's not all just me, but that's where my natural talent and gifting is. And I didn't know that for a very long time because of things that happened to me in the past, things that happened in my childhood, things that happened as I grew up, as a teenager and into my early 20s. I really believed that my place was to be and stay small and quiet. That's just not the case. Just in case you guys didn't notice. So let's talk about skill and talent, okay? Talent is naturally occurring. Your talents are those things that you naturally have, that you are naturally good at. Maybe you are athletically talented. And maybe it's in a particular sport. Maybe you just have a natural athletic ability. Maybe it's singing. Maybe you just have a beautiful natural singing voice, right? Doesn't take a lot of work, doesn't take too much practice. You just have a gift, right? Your talent. When you think about talent, I want you to equate that with gift. Your talent is your gift. And you can have multiples, you can have one. But I promise you, everyone has at least one. It could be your talent for discernment. It could be your ability to cut through the BS and see what people are really like. It could be your incredible ability to peer behind other people's curtains and see what they're all about. It could be your listening ear. It could be your business acumen. You could be a whiz at numbers. Y'all, that's not me. I can do math, right? I can calculate. I know enough to be dangerous. Let me say that. I am not a rocket scientist. You do not want me on formulas. Okay. That's not my talent. That's not my wheelhouse. I know that about myself. I'm cool with that. So all of these things that are things that you are naturally good at, those are your talents. And those are likely going to be the things that you have the most confidence in because they come to you naturally. You look at other people struggle with it and you're like, oh, this is easy. I don't get it. What's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you, right? Because this is easy. Well, it's easy for you. It may not be easy for the other person. So those are your talents. And you're likely going to have some confidence in those talents, which is amazing. You may also have untapped or unyet discovered talents, like I did. So, and there's nothing wrong with that either. You can develop those talents. Whereas your skills are generally something that you learn, right? Skills are something that you can learn. You may have a natural gifting about it, and then you may have a little piece of a natural gifting about it, and you can develop it, right? And you can make it grow, make it work for you, make it become something much larger than it is. But your skill set, those are things that you learn and you develop. Public speaking is a skill. You can learn it. Math, yeah, I mean, it's a skill. For some of us, it's harder than others. But when you think about that, people who are mechanics and things like that, they have some natural inclination to taking things apart and putting them back together, to figuring out how they work and how to fix things. Their specific skill set, whether they're, gas engine mechanic, diesel engine mechanic, airplane engine mechanic, I don't even know what those are called, outside of my wheelhouse, but they go and hone in on their certain skills, right, to get better, to grow. Building your skills, getting better at your skills, fully developing your skills is another way that you can improve and boost your confidence. Why? Because when you're good at something, when you grow in it, when you get more comfortable in it, you're much more confident in being able to do it. I referenced earlier that, after I kind of did a few live videos where I was really just kind of winging it. I started to feel insecure about it. Yes, I was doing it. And I've even gone back and listened to some of those early live videos that I did and the things that I talked about. Y'all, they're good. The content is really good. The picture quality is not, and that's okay. Because when you get started at anything, if it's not one of your natural God-given talents and abilities and your giftings, it's probably going to suck a little bit. And that's okay too. That's okay too, because you continue to work and grow and develop it, right? Those skills, you continue to grow. You guys, I actually am really starting to learn how to put together more of a production of this show, and how to, as I'm going to be recording more videos, not just doing lives, but creating more pre-recorded content that's been edited and produced, all of these things, I'm learning what that process is. Those are skills. The creative side is natural for me. The creative side is a talent. That's natural for me. The actual, like, how do I make this go here? And how do I put music underneath? How do I lay down a track underneath what this is? How do I, splice this in? How can I take this in and drop it in the middle so that it looks really cool? How can I do that? That is a skill. I am learning that. And it's a ton of fun for me personally. I enjoy it. So I don't know if you guys noticed, if you're joining me now, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you caught me right at the beginning, or if you caught me last week, you may have seen a little bit of a different intro. And when I close out the show tonight, there'll be a little bit of a different outro, which is just the exit portion. And you guys, I've created those because I want this show to continue to grow and develop and be useful and purposeful, but also it allows me to grow and develop my skills as a producer, which is awesome because I'm not just a content creator, I'm also a producer now too, which is fabulous. So I want you to remember that while yes, you are naturally going to have confidence in things that you are good at, and listen, nothing wrong with that. Your confidence will grow as you continue to develop your talents, your natural giftings and abilities, and as you continue to develop your skills, as you continue to invest the time in yourself to grow and to learn and to continue pushing your own limits, your confidence is going to go up in those areas. So whether it's speaking, whether it is whether it's singing, you guys, yeah, I really do tend to lean more towards the like fine arts and things like that. Dancing, all of those things. People are so incredibly naturally talented dancers, but let me tell you what, they work at that to perfect it. So that's why my brain always goes to something artsy. But when it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's sports related, whether it's business related, whether it is, again, arts related, whether it is building relationships. You guys, building relationships is a skill that you can develop. And you can grow in your confidence and your ability to talk to people and your ability to connect with them if you will continue to practice it. It's really that simple. But a lot of us get hung up because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, all the time, there's going to be a struggle, right? We're going to face some difficulties as we are challenging ourselves to get better. You're going to fail at something, probably at a lot of things. You guys, I've had some major bombs through this process. I mean, big ones. I used to record little small commercials, okay? And I would write the script, I would record them, I would edit them, I would produce them, I would lay the music tracks underneath them, all of those things, right? And you guys, I bombed many of them. The final product looked pretty good. But the process of having to record take after take after take after take, just trying to get it right, it happens. How many of you have put something out there and it has totally just like crickets? or you tried to put something together and it fell apart. Or you've done something else that you thought, oh, yeah, this is going to be really good. And it wasn't. Trust me, my friends, you're not alone. And I am laughing. I will say I'm laughing with you. I'm really kind of laughing at me as I am remembering and as I continue to go back and through and pay attention to how much I've grown. Because that is another thing that's going to give you that confidence. That's going to increase your confidence level. That's going to push you forward is your ability to look back at what you've done and see your own progress and to celebrate that progress. Because even if it is small progress, you guys know me, I will tell you any day of the week and twice on Sunday, incremental progress is still progress. One step forward, half a step forward is still forward. And we are always looking for progress over perfection because it's never going to be perfect. And that's okay too. It's perfectly okay. None of us were made perfect. So we all missed that when they were handing it out because they didn't. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up with that and just want to give you some additional encouragement that if there is an area of your life where you are lacking confidence right now currently, I want to encourage you, keep at it. Keep going. Measure your progress. However it is that you can measure it. For me, it's the videos that I continue to record. I can go back. Listen, guys, if you want to see some stuff that is radical, go to my YouTube channel. It's just Crystal Fry on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel and scroll all the way down to like the very first videos, like all the way down to the bottom for like 2 years ago. Go all the way down to the bottom. And then watch this again. And look at them, over the years. You don't have to watch all of them if you want to. I mean, you can binge watch. There's plenty of them out there. But if you just look at the progression of how I personally have evolved through this live video process, that's something that gives me hope. And it builds my confidence as I continue to go forward. And as I continue to get feedback from people who tell me that what I'm talking about is helpful, who tell me that it's touching their lives. When my clients tell me things like they don't know where they would be without me, y'all, I get blown away by that. But for me, that helps to build my confidence and help me to know that I am where I'm supposed to be. And I'm doing what I've been called to do. And I'm serving my purpose in what I am supposed to be doing. And that builds my confidence really more than anything else. So thank you guys for hanging out here with me tonight. If you are watching me here over on Facebook, make sure that you make sure that we're friends and make sure that you turn the little notification on so that you know when I go live, you don't miss one of those. And if you're one of my friends over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the little notification bell. So again, you never miss a video or miss when we are going live. And with that, I hope that you all have a wonderfully fabulous weekend. I want to say happy Father's Day to any of my dads who are watching me. You are a very special part of your family life, and I thank you for standing up and being a dad. So we're going to be celebrating my husband this weekend for Father's Day. So I will see you guys all again real soon. And yeah, have a great weekend. Take care.